We've had a funny little morning. Welcome to the next Sip and Share. I am very thrilled to be joined by Jo from Joanne's Temple Colonics. Just like to say I got that right in the first intro that I did for this. It seems to be like a world IT issue weekend, and it's continuing on and spreading its joy to Jo and I this morning. But here we are with our first Sip and Share that I've done, at least anyway, for a little while. So I'm super thrilled to be back and really thrilled to have a chat with Jo, who has been a bar participant for 6 months now, has just finished in cohort 2 at the start of 2024. And I've really enjoyed getting to know more about Jo's business. She's been working on me to come and get a colonic with her. And I have to say, after 6 months, she's worked her magic and it's going to happen. So welcome, Jo. Thank you so much for joining us on one of our Sip and Share interviews.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
So we finally got there with our IT issues. So listen, what the Sip and Share is all about is learning a little bit about your business, some of the hurdles that you've had to leap to get to where you want to go with your business, and also helping everybody sort of understand, I think Mira and I are really, we know deeply that purpose affects the success of every business. And so I would love to start with sharing a little bit about your purpose in business and how you ended up in a business doing colonics. It's the first question everybody wants to ask. Why do you want to deal with shit all day, Jo?
Well, it's no different to the corporate world, but anyway.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh, yeah, dealing with the shit. Sorry, I'm very slow. Oh, my God, honestly.
I know, hilarious. Okay, so I always knew that I was going to have my own business, but I never knew what it was going to be. And so as a single mum, it was always hard to make that break into a business because I needed to provide for my family. And I guess that's the story that a lot of single mums face. Fast forward to, 6 or 7 years ago, my sister actually did a colonics treatment, and on her way back from her treatment, she called me and she goes, "Oh, Joanne, I've just had a colonics. You have to do it. It's amazing." So I went along to my first session and the seed was planted on that day. And so with my sister, she did colonics to remove the toxins from her body because she had cancer. So that was the reason why she decided to do colonics. And then when I saw how it was benefiting her, I thought I needed a job with passion in it. I needed a career, and my business needed to be more than just bottom line, so to speak. So I started studying colonics and really enjoyed it. And then the world went into lockdown. I lost my dad. So studies went on hold. And then 16 months later, my sister sadly passed away. And it was at that point that it's like, you know what, I need to do this now. It's time. I need to make a difference to the lives of other people. And so that's where, I just went full charge ahead. I studied 2 colonics courses because I wanted to learn everything that I could about it and different techniques. And did my practice. I worked for a clinic for a little while, so I was actually doing 2 jobs. So I'd finish my corporate role and then run off to the clinic and do evenings and weekends. And then, so I was doing that for a while, and then jumped in and opened my business. So I've been open for just over a year now. The first year was stop procrastinating, just jump in, just do it. The second year for me now is about, making sure my processes are all set in place. I'm looking at hiring. I'm looking at, how can I do things differently and better?
Yep.
So that's in a big nutshell. That's me and where I'm at.
Amazing. And there's so many things that we're going to go back and talk about. I'm just like finding threads in everything that you've just said. A lot of people have a purpose, a catalyst that gets them into business or into the next evolution of themselves, which we know small business absolutely is one of the best personal growth journeys that we can go on. So for you, it was your sister passing away?
Yeah. She was my wife.
Oh, wow. So how was that connection for you between what you do as a job now, the colonics, and her? I understand it on a surface level, cancer, toxins, but what else was beneath that? Because, we'll go into some of the benefits of colonics and the toxins in a minute, but what else was beneath that? Like, what was really driving that for you?
The fact that, I needed something where I was making a difference. So for me, helping other people, like when you're faced with an illness, how can I put it? You're desperate. You're desperate to find somebody who can help you. You can do your own research. You can, do whatever you can, but sometimes you just need someone to hold your hand and be supportive and be that rock that, they can come and talk to you. They can cry. They can, be vulnerable without any judgment. And so we found my corporate role. So my background's in HR, so it was always been about the people. So I found that people would naturally come and talk to me and open up and be vulnerable. So it's kind of a technical, it's similar in that way where I get to talk to people, but it's different because I am making a difference now to their health. I'm helping them to get to that next level in their health.
Yeah. So
that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. And it's so interesting because I think that our why can be threaded with a lot, like it can be a patchwork with a lot of things that are sort of building up. So there was, like you said at the start, you always wanted to run your own business. So there was always that drive there.
Yeah.
And your sister, in a way, was a catalyst. The fact that she was the one that so passionately said to you, my God, this thing makes a massive difference. You need to go do it, And so I just want for everybody listening to know that there is a way of carving out a place for you in the small business universe. Because, for me, when I first met you, and frankly, if I'd met anybody who was happy, doing what you do all day, I'd be just like, why? What? How? Why? I also feel like that about roofers. Why would you want to be in a Melbourne winter putting an aluminium roof? You're like, why? How did you end up there? I really need to ask that question. But it's there's such a patchwork of things that build up until there's a point where you just can't say no to it anymore. Yeah. So I feel that's extraordinary that you really stepped in. And what did you feel like you had to believe about yourself in order to take that leap? Like, what were you searching for? Maybe through the courses, maybe through the practice. What did you have to believe about yourself to go for it?
Yeah, definitely needed to have that. I think motivation and the passion is the main driver, but also the belief. And look, I've had imposter syndrome for the last 12 months, easy, actually even the last 2 years. Thinking, oh my God, I'm not as good as everybody else who does colonics. You just have that doubt, but whenever that doubt comes in, I just have to push it away, because if I let the doubt or the fear come take over, well then, I may as well just close my doors tomorrow,
Right.
So it's about...
So you have to believe that you're a courageous woman, really.
100%. And you know what? And look, over the years, I've done that many short courses. I've done, that many different training courses and whatever, but everything that I've done over the years hasn't been wasted, because it's all led to here. So I go back and think, oh my God, because I did, beauty therapy, 10 years ago, because I thought, maybe that's something that maybe that's going to be my career change. So still working part-time in my corporate role and studying part-time, did that. But everything that I learnt there is transferable to what I'm doing now, So nothing is ever wasted.
Yeah.
You've got your determination and passion. It's a no-brainer.
That's a great lesson, because we can feel like we kind of over certify ourselves through the imposter syndrome in a lot of ways. I deal with a lot of women in the line of work that I do, where they're like, I just need to go and get one more certification. And I'm like, yeah, do you really though? Is it really that, or do you really just need to kind of commit and focus? And on that note, what are some of the business tips that you feel like you could give around staying committed and focused? Because that is definitely something that I would use to describe you as a businesswoman. From the very beginning, when I met you, you say that you suffer from shiny light syndrome. I don't think that you do. I think that when you get down and dirty, you've got a list a mile long and you just plow through it. I've actually never met anybody quite like it, that can stay so focused on the thing that you're doing, So tell me, what are some of your ways that you do that? How have you got help to do that? Where are you, give us some tips.
Yeah, okay. So obviously passion drives me. That's my driver. Telling my sister's story, because I probably tell that at a minimum once or twice a day, because there's always a client who will ask you, why Colonics. Doing the coaching was amazing, because it helped add some structure to what I need to get done. And also I have a lot riding on this, you know. I can't fail.
Yes.
If I fail, I lose my house.
Right.
For me, it was about I had to back myself, because if I didn't back myself, nobody else was going to back me. So yeah, so I have a lot of
healthy pressure never hurt, did it?
And I know, right? I've really thrown myself in the deep end with this, and there's no sink. I have to swim.
Yeah.
So that gets me out of bed every morning, but also my clients too. You know, I have some amazing clients who come and see me, both men and women. Some clients, if you pass them down the street, you would think, oh my God, there is no way in hell they'll be doing Colonics. But they're just beautiful people, and I absolutely love the conversations that I have with them, you know, and so that drives me too.
Can't wait to come in. I can't
you're going to love it. Seriously, it's going to be amazing. You're going to love it.
Believe like that you can hold the conversation while you're doing it. Okay, I believe you.
You've got this, Kath. You've got it.
I've had a bad experience with it, everybody. So like, I've got a lot of trauma to overcome. Now, listen, back to, because it's so funny that you say that. There's a thing that you said just a minute about sink or swim.
Yeah.
And I just want to pick that out because I think it's a really good business lesson in general. I was reading in one of the many Facebook groups I was in. I mean, someone put a post up this morning saying, you know, my husband thinks I should be charging more. I do definitely undercharge. Can anyone recommend somebody that can help me get over my money stuff to make more money, you know? And I wrote back, because I really do truly believe this, that whatever you prioritize will be your reality. And really, most of the time with money stuff, it's about making a decision to make money. Every time I've done that in my business, every time it has been sink or swim and I've been under that pressure, I make goddamn money. Like nothing stands in my way. And so I just want to pick out something that you're doing naturally here because you're under the pressure, but a great lesson for others that perhaps aren't under the same pressure and are finding it hard to prioritize their business and making the money through their business, saying that they've got a money mindset problem, I mean, look, maybe they do. Maybe a few layers deep, there's something there to work on. But I do believe that probably 80% of the people that aren't making enough money in their business, if they just made the decision as if they had everything to lose to start making money, that they would find a way to make money if that was the single most important thing in their business right now. And the pressure that you're under as a single mother and you've got rent, you've been to the bank, you know, like all of those things, you've got to make this work. And that creates, so share with me what your targets are every week. How many clients are you trying to see? How often do you achieve that target? What percentage do you achieve? It's pretty inspiring.
Okay, so in the beginning, I borrowed extra. So if you're going to be getting a bank loan, make sure you borrow more than what you need because that's your buffer. So for me, I borrowed extra so that I would have that buffer. I thought my projections were really realistic, and even the bank thought my projections were realistic. But in the beginning, there were some weeks where I'd be able to see 1 or 2 clients a day. And back then, my minimum was 5.
Yeah, right, okay.
In the beginning, it was like, okay, let's do 2 clients a day. Then let's, a month or 2 later, let's increase that to 3 a day. So I was being realistic with it. But when it got to 5 a day, it was like I was rarely seeing those 5 appointments a day. So I was glad that I had that buffer. It's underrated. You really have to get your business out there, especially for a new type of business. So for me, most of my clients come through referrals and through Google. So I've invested in Google ads because that's where most people come from, as well as referrals. I've done letterbox drops. Well, my mum has. Thanks, Mum. So she's probably letterbox dropped about 2,000 or 3,000 leaflets into people's letterboxes. I've done mail outs. Gosh, you name it, I've tried it when it comes to getting my name out there. And now I'm at that point where I'm consistently getting my numbers. So I think after I clicked my 12 months, I think that's when things started to really shift for me. I was a little bit more settled in how it was progressing. So it just feels like everything's fallen into place. I'm a lot more relaxed. So if I get somebody who doesn't show up, once upon a time, that used to be, oh my God, how dare they not show up? I used to get offended by it, whereas now it's like, okay, well, whatever the reason was, during that, that hour now, I can do something else. Or, I can catch up on some bookkeeping, I can do a load of towels, whatever, a load of washing. So I kind of look at it a little bit differently. Also, I've set up a new system, new booking system, with the help of a VA. So thank you very much for helping me sort that out. So where people now need to pay a deposit when they book in, so that can eliminate the no-shows. Sure, if people don't want to, whatever, they can always call me and book directly. But to eliminate some of those no-shows, I think the $50 deposit is helping eliminate that. So there are a lot of things that I've tried, through trial and error, of course. Now, have I answered your question? I think I've gone off on a bit of a tangent with that one. Sorry.
Remember what my question was, because I was finding that so interesting. But it is, because it is such a different business to one that I've ever run. I'm sort of envious in a way that you can make Google work so well for you, and that you can pay Google ads and that works. And the fact that you've got that little optimizations that you can make, like taking a deposit, that sort of easily increases the value of your week by doing such little optimizations like that, which is just so awesome. What sort of numbers are you hitting now per day?
I'm doing anywhere from 5 up.
Yeah, great. Excellent.
So some days I'll do 7. Yep. It's not uncommon to do 6 every day. But I'm probably averaging 5. I mean, look, some days are quieter than others, and I do work long hours. So I'm working 6 days a week, probably doing 9-hour days for most of those. Right. And so some days, there is capacity for 7 or 8 clients, and I might only do 5 or 6. So.
Yeah.
I'm getting there. Look, and again, there are some weeks, like, as an example, last week, Monday, Tuesday was fairly quiet, but then Wednesday through to Saturday, I was almost booked out. So you give or take.
Yeah. So it's massive. So I had a question in my head then. What?
Sorry.
No. It's just Monday morning brain. So tell me, what is the sort of future? Let's because that's what I was going to say, because I love that you've pointed out that for the first year, really, it was sort of hustling, you were like, my God, This is actually way harder than I ever predicted to be. Even the bank had no idea it was going to be this hard to get that consistency. But a year, 12 months ticks over, and I was like, so now what do you feel like the next milestone is going to be for you? Time-wise and goal-wise?
Yeah, so next on my list is to hire 2 people. So I'm wanting to have somebody manning reception. Probably not full time, but even if I can get, say maybe 4 hours a day, that would be awesome. Because at the moment I do close the door or lock the door in between clients. So if anybody did want to pop in and purchase the product, they have to message and be in touch first so that I can make arrangements on when they can come in to prep it. So having somebody there for even 4 hours a day to start off with would be a game changer for me, because then they could also help out with making sure the towels are cleaned every day, and just doing some admin stuff. And then with that time, that's more time that I can see clients and whatever with that. And the second one is to look at getting another Colonics person as well. So I do have somebody that I'm chatting to maybe half a day a week, because that works in with the family commitments. And so during that time that she's here, I'm hoping that can be my working my business.
Awesome.
I can actually take a step back and do some planning and do my socials, or things that I don't really have time to do when I'm seeing clients.
Yeah.
I can schedule that for that time when she's. So that's where I'm at. Probably the next, by the end of this year, I'm hoping to have those in place.
Yeah.
And then, moving forward, ideally, I'd love to set up another Colonics room.
Yeah, awesome. And so, what are you going to do on a? So it sounds like you're increasing your capacity to see clients.
Yeah.
Bit of a challenge here. What are you going to do to increase your capacity to attract new clients? Like how are you going to attack that advertising? What's worked? What are you going to amp up?
So more letterbox drops. I know, as old-fashioned as that is, letterbox drops work because people are physically taking your flyer out of the letterbox, they're holding it, they're reading it, and what they do with it after, it doesn't matter, but the seed's planted for them as they see it, So they'll read it, oh God, no way is anyone going to put a chip up my bum. So they'll either bin it or they'll just put it aside for, actually, when they're talking to a friend, oh my God, I just got a flyer in the mail. Look, let's talk about it. If you book in, well, then I'll book in too, that kind of thing. So letterbox drops work. Also, I do a lot of mail outs as well. So yes, the old fashioned mail outs where I print off a letter, I add some flyers. I also add a 10% off voucher. And these are to businesses who see clients that will benefit from Colonics.
Yeah, good.
So I do, and they've worked. Like as an example, the very first one that I did, I think I sent out about 50, not even, probably about 40 letters. So people actually have to open the letter. Again, it's right in their hand. Emails, it's easy to click the delete, but when they're opening it, so they actually, I had, so out of that 40, I had 1 or 2 people come to see me, but we'll just talk about one in particular. He came to see me. He referred 2 other people who both had 3 sessions. He's had 3 sessions. So by offering him 10% off, I've had 9 Colonics.
That's amazing.
He more than paid for that mail out.
Yeah.
And it just cost me, a 10% off start for him.
Yeah, cool.
So I'll continue doing that because that worked for me.
Yeah. So anybody that's listening that's in like a location-based business where you've got something quite specific like Colonics that can be Googled, like this Jo's strategy that she's talking through here is completely invaluable to you. And consistency and measurements, I imagine there's a reason that we have to wrap up soon, but I know that there's a reason that that these things are working, right? You're obviously tracking it on some level.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's really important too. Data, so often we can feel, especially with social media, that we're just throwing, pardon the pun, shit at the wall to see what sticks.
Exactly.
But obviously in your situation, you're actually tracking exactly what's going on with those, snail mail outs, which I love. Awesome. One last question. What do you feel like in your business journey has been invaluable for you to lean on as far as support goes? Talk us through what support you've had.
Yeah, so definitely the bar. I really recommend that. I joined the bar at a time where my business was only 6 months in, 6 or 7 months in, and I just needed that added support, some guidance, and also to build a network of people now who have become friends, where I can just pick up the phone and call anybody from the bar and just say, oh God, I'm stuck. Can you help me out here? Or can you just help walk me off the ledge? I'm having a nervous breakdown. That. And sometimes you just need somebody who gets it, just to have a chat to. But for me, that's been invaluable. Yeah, it's been the best 6 months that I've had by having that support, and also just to help me think outside the box with those 6 Ps, because I probably wouldn't have thought about those on my own. So I'm very grateful to the bar for helping get my mind, thinking about them.
Awesome. And what other support have you got around you?
Of course, family.
Yes,
family and friends. So that's good.
Mum,
and
in terms of it.
I know, well, Mum, she's been great with the letterbox drops, and she's my walking, notice board, because everybody who she talks to, if they talk about, oh my God, I'm feeling so bloated, she goes, oh, my daughter does Colonics. You'll feel amazing if you do it. And so, she talks about what I do. So, so she's been amazing with that as well. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like you have got amazing support. It sounds like you've got all of the pillars in place in a really successful business, and you've already got the eye on the future of how I'm going to scale up and slowly sort of remove yourself from the intensity of 9 hours a day.
Yeah.
Pipes up people's butts. It's something that I can imagine that at some point you do want to step back from a little bit, but still have the well-being outcomes that you're creating for people. And like you say, what an absolute temple it is for people with any sort of diagnosis, any sort of a catalyst for health change that they've recently had, and sounds to me like you're also the type of person that with your empathic ear is happy to sort of concierge them through the changes as well. So is there anything that you want to sort of put out there as an offer, or anything that you've got coming up that you want anybody to know about?
Yeah, well, as our talk has been about our purpose and passion, I've actually co-authored a book that's going to be released next month.
Awesome.
It is called Purpose and Passion, and chapter. Probably not allowed to talk about it just yet, but it will be released on 15th of August. So keep an eye on my social. I've written a chapter about how I got to where I am, the obstacles and some tips. So yes, that's been exciting. I've always wanted to write a book, and writing this chapter has been the start. So I've got a lot of ideas percolating in my mind, and I'm looking forward to actually writing a book on my own. So that's
awesome, babe.
Yeah,
love that. All right, so we will pop your handles in the comments once we post the Sip and Share in the group and on YouTube, and people can follow along and pick up your book with all of the tips that we've talked about today, probably. So thank you so much for joining us, Jo. It was such a pleasure to hear from you and all of your amazing experience that you've garnered in just under a year. Amazing.
Thanks so much, and I'll see you very soon.
Thanks, darling.
Take care.
See ya.